Ever wonder what gives a city its soul? Is it the flashy skyline, the trendy hotspots, or is it something deeper, something hidden beneath the surface? Well, get ready to find out because on today's deep dive, we're cracking the code of Tokyo.
Okay, I like it. Cracking the code. I'm ready.
You sent over a stack of articles and excerpts.
I did.
And I gotta say, Tokyo's got layers. We're not just talking bullet trains and cherry blossoms here, people.
Yep.
Get ready for a crash course in Tokyo beyond the tourist traps. The kind of stuff that'll make you the most interesting person at your next dinner party.
I love that. I love that. So what's fascinating about Tokyo is how much its past shapes its present.
Okay.
Take its name, for example. Before the dazzling metropolis we know today, it was Edo,
Right.
a humble fishing village.
Okay, so Edo, fishing village. Got it.
Yeah.
But how does a fishing village morph into, Tokyo?
It's a story more dramatic than any anime you've ever seen. It starts with power, with the Edo clan fortifying the area, and a guy named Shitedu Khan building Edo Castle in 1457, a decision that would change everything.
Building a castle. Sounds kind of Game of Thrones, no. Were there epic battles and power struggles?
You bet. After Jukan was assassinated, different feudal lords were like sharks circling,
Yeah.
all vying for control.
Right.
But then enters Tokugawa Ieyasu in 1590.
Okay.
He expands Edo Castle from rubble into a stronghold,
Wow.
becomes shogun, the supreme military leader, and boom, Edo becomes Japan's de facto capital in 1603.
De facto, but not the official capital. Why the distinction? Was there like a capital rivalry going on?
Exactly. See, the emperor, he was chilling in Kyoto,
Right.
holding on to that symbolic authority. And this whole shogun in Edo, emperor in Kyoto dynamic,
Yeah.
it defined Japan for centuries.
Wow. Okay, history lesson time. Didn't they have something called like Pax Tokugawa back then?
You nailed it. This
Yeah.
Pax Tokugawa, it wasn't just a fancy name. It was an era of peace that lasted for centuries. Imagine that. A city developing without constant warfare.
Yeah.
It allowed Edo's culture, its artistry, to truly blossom.
But it wasn't all peaceful development, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Edo have more than its fair share of disasters too?
You're right. Edo had it rough. Fires, earthquakes, you name it. It's almost poetic. A city built on resilience, shaped by its ability to rebuild time and time again.
Right.
They didn't just rebuild, though. They learned.
Yeah.
Each disaster, a chance to innovate, to come back stronger. That spirit, that drive, it's in Tokyo's DNA.
So this brings us to the big one, right? The Great Kanto earthquake. I can't even imagine.
The Kanto earthquake was devastating. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that, there's another pivotal moment we need to unpack. The Meiji Restoration in 1868. This is when Edo officially becomes Tokyo,
Okay.
the eastern capital. And the emperor finally makes his move.
The emperor finally ditches Kyoto. Was it more of a symbolic, we're modern now kind of move, or did it really shake things up?
It was a total game changer.
Wow.
Imagine this. A nation hell-bent on modernization, racing toward a new era. And at the heart of it all is a guy named Hisoka Maejima.
Okay.
Talk about a visionary. He saw Edo, this city rebuilt from ashes time and again, and knew it had the grit, the strategic location on the Kanto Plain to become the powerhouse.
And he wasn't wrong.
Nope.
But hold on. Switching gears from shogun-led Edo to emperor-ruled Tokyo,
Yeah.
that couldn't have been smooth sailing, right?
You're catching on. This transition was more of a seismic shift than smooth sailing. The shogun didn't just hand over the keys. There was resistance, power struggles, even battles fought right in the heart of what is now Tokyo. It took a while to find its footing.
And that, my friends, is where that Edo-era resilience we were talking about really shines through. The Kanto earthquake, it could have broken Tokyo, but instead it became this catalyst.
Exactly. They took this tragedy and used it as a springboard for innovation, rebuilding smarter, embracing new architectural ideas, and planning a city ready for anything. That's the Tokyo we know today.
Talk about turning lemons into lemonade, or maybe in this case, rubble into a resilient megacity. But they weren't done evolving, right? Didn't Tokyo go on to become an economic powerhouse?
Absolutely. Tokyo's story in the 20th century is one of booms and busts. They rode the wave of becoming a global financial hub, weathered storms like the asset bubble and the lost decades. And still, here it is, a city that never stops reinventing itself. It's mind-blowing, really.
It's like they took that Edo-era resilience and hit fast forward. Okay, so we've time traveled through shogunates and earthquakes. Now let's fast forward to Tokyo today.
And there's no better place to start than with the one thing that defines daily life in Tokyo, the sheer number of people.
Okay, so Tokyo's crowded, we get it. But seriously, how do you even begin to wrap your head around a city with a population larger than some countries?
Imagine this. Over 14 million people call Tokyo home.
Wow.
And that's not even counting the millions who commute in every single day. The three central wards, Chiyoda, Cho, and Minato, their population explodes during the day, becoming 7 times larger than at night.
7 times.
It's like a different city emerges when the sun rises.
You're kidding. I remember reading about the morning commute in Tokyo, the sea of people.
Okay.
And it's not just the number, it's the order, the efficiency.
It's a well-oiled machine, for sure. And think about this. Despite being a global financial hub, Tokyo has a surprisingly low car ownership rate.
Wait, really? You'd think with all that wealth, everyone would be cruising around in fancy cars.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But it's a testament to their incredible public transport system. They've got JR East, Tokyo Metro, these intricate networks that run like clockwork. It's a culture built on collective efficiency, on relying on each other to keep the city moving.
It makes you realize how much transportation shapes a city's character, doesn't it? It's not just about getting from A to B, it's about a shared experience, a certain rhythm of life.
And let's not forget the history. Tokyo once had this huge network of trams. But, like many cities, the rise of the car almost wiped them out. Now, only the Arakawa line remains, a charming reminder of a bygone era.
Speaking of reminders of the past, when I think Tokyo, I think Shibuya Crossing, those neon lights, the sensory overload. But even beyond those iconic spots, it feels like there's a whole world waiting to be discovered, right?
You're absolutely right. When we delve deeper, we discover a cultural tapestry woven from tradition and modernity. Michelin-starred restaurants sit alongside ancient temples, world-class museums dedicated to everything from ukiyo-e art,
Right.
the woodblock prints, to, believe it or not, tobacco.
Hold up, a tobacco museum. Okay, I have to admit, my interest is officially piqued. Tell me more about these hidden gems, places even seasoned Tokyo travelers might not have on their radar.
Have you heard of the Edo Tokyo Open Air Architectural Museum? It's like stepping back in time. They've preserved these amazing buildings from different eras of Tokyo's history, so you could literally walk through time.
Okay, that's going on my list. Walking through time. How cool is that? See, this is what I love about these deep dives. It's about uncovering those hidden layers, the stories beneath the surface. What else you got?
Well, you mentioned the Tobacco and Salt Museum.
Right.
And let me tell you, it's fascinating. It's not just about smoking or spices. It's about how these everyday items played a huge role in Japanese history, in trade, in culture. Who knew salt could be so interesting?
This is blowing my mind. You've got ancient history, cutting-edge technology, and a museum dedicated to salt. Tokyo truly has it all. But I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface, right? Okay, so we've explored ancient Edo, survived earthquakes, and navigated the world's most efficient public transport system. What else does Tokyo have up its sleeve?
Well, for a city obsessed with innovation and technology, Tokyo holds on to some fascinating remnants of its past.
Oh.
Take its language, for example. Did you know that even within Tokyo, you'll find distinct dialects?
Wait, really? I thought everyone just spoke, well, Japanese.
It's more nuanced than that. You see, the way people speak in the Yamanote area, historically known for its wealthier residents, differs from the Shitamachi dialect, spoken more in the working-class districts. It's like these echoes of old social structures are woven into the very fabric of their language.
Whoa! So even in a modern megacity, you still have these whispers of the past hiding in plain sight. It's like linguistic archaeology.
Exactly. And while these distinctions are fading a bit with younger generations, it's a powerful reminder of how language shapes identity. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. Speaking of language as a time capsule, have you ever heard of the Hachiji dialect?
Hakiju rings a bell, but I can't quite place it.
It's spoken on these remote islands south of Tokyo, Hachijima and Ogashima. What's so fascinating is that it's descended from a much older form of Japanese. Fewer than 1,000 people speak it today.
Wow!
But it's like this linguistic window into Japan's past.
It's mind-blowing how much history is baked into everyday things like the way people speak. But Tokyo isn't just living in the past, right? It's facing some serious 21st century challenges too, especially when it comes to the environment.
Absolutely. You can't talk about a megacity like Tokyo without addressing the environmental realities. The urban heat island effect, for example, is a major issue. All that concrete and asphalt, it traps heat, making Tokyo significantly warmer than surrounding areas.
I remember reading about that. Didn't they implement some pretty innovative solutions to combat it? Something about a green roof initiative?
You're right on the money. Tokyo's tackled the heat island effect head-on, encouraging green roofs and even creating these green curtain walls covered in plants. It's not just aesthetically pleasing, it helps cool the city and reduce energy consumption. And let's not forget Governor Ishihara, who made Tokyo a pioneer in the fight against climate change.
Right, he was the one who pushed for those citywide emissions caps. Wasn't Tokyo one of the first major cities to implement something that ambitious?
Absolutely. Governor Ishihara knew Tokyo couldn't just sit back and watch the planet heat up. And then there's the 10-year project for Green Tokyo. Their goal is to plant 1 million trees. They're not just aiming to be a megacity, they want to be a green megacity.
1 million trees. Okay, now that's impressive. It makes you hopeful, knowing that even in the face of these huge environmental challenges, cities like Tokyo are taking action. But they're also dealing with threats that are, well, a bit more unpredictable.
You're talking about natural disasters.
Yeah.
It's not just earthquakes. Mount Fuji might be a symbol of Japan, but it's also an active volcano looming over Tokyo.
It's like this beautiful, serene mountain is also a constant reminder of nature's power. And then there's the flood risk. I read about these massive underground tunnels they built to divert floodwater.
The Metropolitan Area Outer Underground Discharge Channel,
Right.
or MAOUDC for short, it's a marvel of engineering. This massive network of tunnels can hold millions of gallons of water, protecting Tokyo from devastating floods. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Tokyo truly is a city of contrasts. Ancient history meets futuristic technology, peaceful gardens tucked between skyscrapers, and a spirit of resilience that has allowed it to overcome countless challenges.
It's a city that never stands still. Always evolving, always rebuilding. Tokyo truly embodies that spirit of ganbatte, of perseverance and pushing forward.
So, there you have it, folks, a deep dive into the heart and soul of Tokyo. We've explored its history, uncovered its secrets, and glimpsed its future challenges. What surprised you most? What resonated with you? We might just take your suggestions for our next deep dive, so keep those thoughts coming. Until then, happy exploring, and remember, next time someone mentions Tokyo, you'll be armed with enough fascinating facts to blow them away.